America has a culture where death is the enemy. It is to be feared, the worst possible event, an illness to cure. To be avoided so desperately, we wage war against it. We detest it so much that even in death, we feel we must embalm the body with poisons, encasing it in steel to keep it from returning to the ground and giving back. This culture is sick. Death is the end goal. Death comes for us all. The balm to all wounds, the end to all suffering. The returning of our energy to the universe which lent it to us. It is not cruel nor kind, it simply is the end of the song, as all songs, all stories, everything must end. We must not fear that which is ultimately what we are born to do. Consider for a moment that we allow more dignity in passing to our animals when we put them to sleep than we do to our own elderly, our sick, our suffering, those who are ready to go. This culture will demand they stay because of fear of the unknown. Now, do not mistake me. Do not misunderstand me. Do not take my words and twist them. Suicide is a tragedy, and one that can and should be prevented. Suicide is an act of desperation of those who need help. Help we must, as a society, offer unstintingly, without judgment. I am anti-suicide. A life ended in fear is not a person choosing to die. It is someone who is unable to figure out how to keep living. The right to die, however, I believe is a basic human right that must be protected, as any basic human right must be protected, must be allowed without guilt or shame, without stigma, must be understood and treated with empathy. If life is sacred, then so is death. For they are different sides of the same coin. When you have lived a life, when you have come to its end, be it through age or illness, injury or unending suffering that has decimated your quality of life, you deserve to have a say in when and how you make your exit with all due dignity, with every respect. Not a desperate act done in secret, surrounded by fear and shame, but one you are guided through by professionals with compassion. We have those who help bring life into this world. We should have those who help lead the ones ready to go through the process of death on their own terms. A birth plan, a death plan. As a culture, as a society, we need to repair our relationship with death. It deserves all the rituals we offer to life. It deserves compassion and understanding. Death is as much a part of life as any aspect. Birth, life, death. The sun rises, crosses the sky, and sets. So too our lives. The sunset is as beautiful and as welcomed as the sunrise. More importantly, the people who are ready to die should not be asked to continue to suffer for the sake of those who are afraid of death. It is not my responsibility to stay in pain for anyone, for any reason, for any length of time. You say to end my life is selfish? Is it not also selfish to ask me to stay if all I'm ever going to be is in pain? Pain that will only get worse, cannot be cured, may take my life in a painful, awful way, at some unknown point, in some unknown way. Should my illnesses, my unending suffering become too much for me? Should I lose the will to live? I know I would like to go with dignity and respect for my choice. My death should not be a desperate act, would not be a first choice. It would be with all due consideration, contemplation, and ceremony. If I am allowed to decide how I live, I should be allowed to decide how I die.